For Go 95.3, I'm Chaz Kings, and I'm joined by the cast of QuaranTeam.
What's up?
What's up, Chaz?
Yes.
Congrats so much on the series. As we're recording this, there's 13 episodes up. Watched all of them. Absolutely fantastic. One of my favorite artistic achievements that's emerged from this current situation that we're going through. And there's a lot I want to discuss about this. And the first one is, in this time where so many people are finding something of hindrance in their ability to be creative, to be artistic, to be funny, and being that, all things considered, even though it still just kind of feels like one really long week, we're now just about 3 months into this lockdown. So, which is a tremendous amount of time to come up with 13 episodes of anything. So at what point during your experiences with this quarantine did you have the idea for QuaranTeam and it all started to come together?
Go ahead, Mike.
Mike.
We Bobby and Greg and I were making sketches, just kind of one-off sketches. I don't know if you've seen those too. A couple Al Pacino sketches and things like that, just based around the quarantine. And I was on a Zoom call with a bunch of people that I know, like a happy hour type of thing. And I was kind of laughing internally at all the problems they were having, like, can you hear me, or unmute your camera, or whatever it is. And I was just putting these things together thinking, wow, that would be interesting to just, poke fun at, make people laugh about their situations on what is now a Zoom culture. So I wrote a couple ideas, presented it, and we all kind of got together and hashed out more and started filming.
Yeah, and it definitely rings true. Like the second episode with the lag just nails that so perfectly when they're in that just off issue. So that in mind, did directing and putting together and writing as well these sorts of episodes be much different doing it over a platform like Zoom as opposed to like typically being able to shoot things?
I think I'm not going to speak about it, but I think it's a lot easier in terms of we generally do when we shoot like a page, it usually takes us an hour because you have to set up and do different camera angles and get all the coverage. With this, you have everybody on screen, so you're running through a page of dialogue within the matter of 30 seconds. So you rehearse it a bunch of times, and you could do probably 8 pages in an hour. So you get a lot more done, and you get to see everybody. It's like a little video village, so you can kind of direct everybody as you're doing it and get all the reactions. It makes it so much easier, except for the technology. The lag parts kind of hinder, but that's about it.
Yeah,
I'm sure Mike's got more to add to that.
Yeah, no, I mean, basically what you said, yeah. Most of our scripts are around 3 pages or so, and when everyone logs in, we rehearse for maybe half hour, film for about an hour with some catch-up time here and there, and so after 90 minutes, the script is complete, and another 3 hours or so, and it's a finished piece that we're posting to YouTube. Unprecedented, as you said, in the realm of filmmaking. to have.
Yeah.
Plus, anybody around the world can be on one of these shows. We just call them in, just like you. You're in Minneapolis. We could be doing this with you. You know what I mean? So it's easier to get actors to come on board for wherever they are, as long as they got an hour of their day in their pajamas or whatever. Whatever happens.
That's a valid point, because Bobby and I have a show on Amazon Prime, Welcome Home, and what we did was, we reached out to actors that we trust and that we've worked with for years on end, and man, it's just great. Mike's really good with his writing, and we get the script out, and they have it for about a week and look it over, and man, they are right on key once we tune into tape. So It's a real testament to them too. And like Bobby said, we have guest appearances on our show. We have one, my friend Debbie Rigo. She writes children's book with Alyssa Milano, and she's my friend out in Columbus, Ohio. So she's on an episode, and I think that there is in 2 weeks.
Couple weeks, yeah.
Yeah, so it's to your point, Chaz. It's really cool, to have this downtime, but see so much innovation and creativity some people are really putting some good time, money, and production into. Like yourself, that you've got a good product and brand.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
And speaking of products and brands, one thing that I found really interesting is you chose to make the core of it about an advertising agency. Mm-hmm. And at what point did the idea to make it an advertising agency come about in the development of this?
That was right in the beginning, though, right? Because that's what I called. I was like, when we were hashing this out, Mike, to to what he said before, Bobby and I were making parodies, you know, Adam Sandler and Al Pacino, and then Mike had this idea, and I, you know, it has to be something creative. Like they were in, what was it, commercials? Or no, it started with, what was it, travel cruise agents, right? And no one could travel. And then we just melded you know, two together and came up with ad agency.
Yeah, Bobby and I have experience with advertising.
Yeah.
Agencies doing our own thing or working for them. So I was drawing from a lot of that too, like, because it's an industry that you can really have a lot of jargon that sounds real and it's not. And that can be like the backdrop. And then we just bring the characters' ridiculousness forward and it seems realistic, which, you know, some people watch this and think, wait, are these guys really trying to have a meeting here? We just drop in on something.
And we thought it's a good way to also like integrate some brands, like real brands, if you want to bring them onto the show and, you know, get some kind of advertising money that way or something. Keep it kind of fun.
Yeah. Does that make sense, Chad, what Bob just said?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So when we have guest spots come on, we're actually promoting their product. So my friend Debbie's, we're talking about her actual books, but we're just bumbling idiots. So everyone, you know, just, yeah, we won't give it away.
So the pizza place mentioned a few episodes. That's an actual pizzeria?
Unfortunately, that's made up.
That's made up.
There's a couple made up ones, yeah.
The timing of that is right around, I don't know if you guys have been following the Chuck E. Cheese controversy.
Yeah. What's their name? What's the actual name? I forgot. It's something crazy.
It starts with a P. It's a very similar name to that. I think it's like, is it Pepitos? They named it after one of the characters in the animatronic.
Oh, the animatronic guys. That's right. Yeah.
They're gonna, you know, the inevitable Chuck E. Cheese splinter off.
Supposed to be like high end kind of quality or something, I guess.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Did you try it or no?
No. They're out of my delivery range.
Gotcha.
In Minneapolis, you can't throw a rock without hitting 3 pizza places. So,
yeah. How is the pizza out there?
Oh, it's fantastic. It's out here. It's the cheese is like the main draw for a lot of the pizza.
Oh yeah, okay, that makes sense.
The cheese on it. So
because
I lived in New York for 11 years and having New York pizza and how great that is, and a lot of that, you know, about it being flat, and then every place has their own regional sort of pizza. But being out here, once this is over, you guys should definitely come out here, and I'll gladly treat you guys to some of the finest.
Yeah, take some Minnesota pizza. Why not?
Yeah,
absolutely. We have Princeton Pizza and Louis Anderson.
All right.
So, another thing I wanted to bring up, and this is so far, so how many episodes total have you guys shot or plan to shoot?
I think we've shot 20.
Yeah, we're trying to get 24, right? I believe.
Yeah.
We're left. Yeah.
Yeah, we have 4.
So, and being now that it's like, as we're recording this, it's 13 in, and one thing that I've noticed that I think separates what you guys are doing with QuaranTeam from a lot of the other content that others have made at this time is you really haven't addressed or talked about the actual COVID-19, like the virus itself. And I was wondering, was that a conscious choice, or is it just kind of one of those things that it just happened that way?
It was conscious, right, Mike? I think we did a bunch of parodies that covered all that, where we're just like, all right, let's move away from that, because everybody's just kind of hammered, and it's like, I think people want to get away from it and move on a little bit. So it's kind of the big focus off of that. So you can just kind of enjoy this without worrying about what's going on.
And Greg speaks well to that, to the reasons we did it, is to make, you know, help people smile, have a good time, not have to think about what's going on, because we always are. So what is it? Why would we bring it up again, you know?
Right.
Yeah, very true. That's it exactly. Because we're bumbling fools, really. So everyone knows COVID's happening here, but it's never talked about. But we have to focus like on work here. We can't. You know, I mean, it's just
still crazy.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, because I thought it was either that or I think it's something that lends itself to that. When this is all passed, like, it's going to allow it to age really well. Because I think a reason shows like Dick Van Dyke, you know, which is on 50, 60 years ago, there's really nothing pertinent tying it to, you know, the stuff of the era. It's very human response, interaction in those specific scenarios.
Right.
Whereas you look at a lot of comedy from like, you know, 20 years ago, and at this point we can't just be like, oh man, amazing Donald Rumsfeld joke. Like,
Rummy.
I think they're just, you know, it allows like a certain staying with it. And like you guys mentioned in Escape. Well, congrats again on QuaranTeam. So the new episodes drop? You're doing it weekly?
Yeah, so we just dropped one today, and then Saturday we will drop another one. So it's every Thursday and Saturday that we drop episodes.
Spectacular. And the best place for people to check it out would be on the YouTube channels?
On YouTube. There's a Facebook page. It's at QuaranTeam. And then other than that, you can just Google search QuaranTeam Comedy, and you should find it.
We're gonna be available on an app soon too, right? On Apple TV and Roku and
Yep.
stuff.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When that happens, we'll get to it, but it should be soon.
Yeah.
Don't have a date for it yet.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, congrats once again. Absolutely loving it. Looking forward to today's episode, and glad to hear there's going to be 24 of these bad boys.
Thanks, Chaz. Thanks for having
Thanks,
us. Tim.
Chad. Thanks for having us on, man. Stay well.
Enjoy the ice cream.
I'll do what I can. All right, be easy, y'all. Thanks again.
Okay, thanks, man.